Well, Tim Donovan joins me now from City Hall. Strong feelings, as we heard from the church there, but Ray Lewis is denying all these allegations, isn't he, tonight?
He is indeed, and we can talk to Ray Lewis now. These aren't the claims of journalists. This is from the mouth of the Bishop of Chelmsford, the church. He would not have you ministering in the church. There were serious concerns here. What do you say?
I would say to you that this is the first I've heard of it, or should I say this day. I have been in and around the Diocese of Chelmsford for some time, and never once has this been brought up to me, never once has the charges been put to me. So I'm not clear as to exactly why this has come up at this particular point and in this particular way.
And you said today that you didn't know you were on this Lambeth list,
No,
effectively barring you because you hadn't applied for a job. But why would you be put on a list like that if there weren't serious complaints against you?
Well, I mean, I can't comment on that. You'd have to tell me, because as far as I'm aware, that the first I'm hearing about these complaints is this day, 3-4 hours ago. And so whether I'm on a list or not on a list.
3 or 4 hours ago. Now, have you ever had, are you saying in the time that you were a vicar a decade ago, no complaints against you?
Not one, not ever, not even minutely. Not a word has been mentioned to me about this.
While you were a vicar and after you left a vicar?
During, after, later, I have no clue. This is the first I've heard
You
of
were saying that no one had any concern that they would have raised with the church authorities about your conduct?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Do you know Mary Massey?
Yes, I know Mary very well. She's a friend of mine. She works at the academy, and we've been friends for many years.
Did you offer her, did she give you money, £25,000 she entrusted with you to invest or do something with?
And all of that money's been paid back with interest, and Mary and I continue to be good friends this day.
But she did do that?
Yes, she did. Yes, we invested in some property together, yes.
But earlier on today, in the press conference, you were asked whether you had borrowed money, and you said no, from many of your parishioners.
That's correct. Well, borrowing is not quite the same as what I've just described.
You're saying there was a difference. Well, she certainly was unhappy in the end about your failure to pay it back. Do you accept there were concerns there?
I have a statement from Mary Massey talking about how happy she is.
Do you accept back then, 10 years ago, there were concerns, she wanted to recover that money and she wasn't getting it back from you?
No, I do not accept that, no.
Right. We have seen letters she has written to the Metropolitan Police, which indicate she wanted them to help get the money back.
Yes, and the result of that was that there's been no case to answer. I've not had any conversation with the police about it, and so this is a bit spurious.
But then you would have been aware that there was a complaint, though, as you concede there, and you've just said to me before that there were no complaints against you.
No, having spoken to the Metropolitan Police today, we're aware that I'm now aware that she had spoken to the police. I also spoke to an MP today who told me about the same thing. But as I said to you, these charges are completely new to me. I'm not being defensive, I'm answering the questions that you're putting to me.
So your solicitors at no stage tried to broker a deal and ensure her that you were going to pay the money back at any stage?
No, I don't have a solicitor, so no deal was struck in that way, in any way, shape or form.
So any of the material from us that indicates that she was unhappy, she went to her Archdeacon, who we've spoken to today, expressing her displeasure, that's made up?
No, I'm not saying that's made up. I'm saying to you that in relation to the charge that you're putting me to me today and the allegations, these things have been dealt with. Mary and I have had a conversation. Mary and I remain good friends. Mary's money has been paid back, and so I'm not quite sure what the basis of this current crop of allegations is.
Well, it may be historic, but do you accept that this is why the church has taken the action it has? Because at one stage she was very unhappy about the arrangement. More to the point, the Archdeacon and the church were very unhappy that you had been embarking on this kind of arrangement with a parishioner.
Well, I mean, Mary was more than a parishioner, she was a friend. And as I said to you, I am not aware of the church putting to me their unhappiness. And so you put it to me today and others has been the first time. So, you know, you'll understand from me if I say to you that my reticence in answering and in dealing with the question is because this is completely new to me.
If you didn't have any concerns or know that your future, there was no future in the church, why did you not come back and apply and return to preaching after you'd been in the Windward Islands?
I resigned from the Church of England in 1997, and at the time that I resigned, that was it for me. And so I had no intention of going back into the church in this particular way. Having said that, I still continue to minister in churches up and down the country. And so it's not to say that I've run away from it, it's not to say that I'm hidden from it, it's just something I've chosen to do something else.
You were asked today about allegations of sexual misconduct.
Yes.
What is that about?
What a load of old nonsense. I have no idea. I'm just hearing some of that stuff today.
No complaints? You don't think you've given
Not
anyone?
one.
You've given no one, no woman cause to make any complaints about your behaviour to them of a sexual nature?
As far as I'm concerned, none whatsoever.
As far as you're concerned, has it never been put to you by anybody?
Not anybody. Not you. You were the first to do so.
Either in the church or at any
In
other
the church, out the church, round the houses. No one has said anything to me about that at all.
Now, we have been told that there is a file. It has remained dormant. It is a personnel file, if you like, of your name at the Bishopric of Chelmsford. People have told us that there is disturbing material in that file.
Really? Yes.
Are you happy with that? All of that file, the content of that, to go to any inquiry that should be held?
Absolutely, and I certainly hope it will be done robustly and quickly, because I would like to put this to bed so I can get on with my job.
Will you accept that it will be curious when we've seen documentary evidence? We have a former archdeacon saying how hard it was to get hold of you, that you couldn't sort out the money. It will seem curious that you are offering these blanket denials, that there really is nothing.
Well, it may be curious, but it's the truth. I can only tell you what I know. I can only tell you what I know from a position of a clear conscience. And the witness statements that we have, the people that we've spoken to, the internal inquiries that we've made, I believe will vindicate me, if indeed vindication is what's needed.
Ray Lewis, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. And Louisa, back to you.
Well, Tim, Ray Lewis defiant there, but this is only 2 months in. This is going to be a huge issue for Boris Johnson, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, the inquiry gives him a breathing space, and one could argue that it's in marked contrast to what Ken Livingstone did when he had a similar difficulty with someone very close to him. But 2 months in, this key player who he has made so much of and on whom he pins so much hope in trying to tackle the problem that we've been returning to on our programme repeatedly over the last a few weeks, the issue of knife and gun crime in the capital.
Be interesting, Tim. Donovan, for now, thanks very much. Plenty more to come before 7 tonight, including